So I'd like to call the Design Review Board regular meeting for Monday, March 20th, 2023 to order. We'll do roll call first. Of course, Steve Antonio is here. Elaine Land here. Anka Dragulski and Kate Beal. Here. So we've established a quorum. Today, I would like to revise our order of applications. We're going to do it the same as we did our last meeting, in as much as we're going to go 3, 2, 1. With that being said, the first one we'd like to hear is application ZC 23-05 of ArtFX applicant, UDOF Enterprises LLC owner, for a sign permit for the construction of a 23 square foot freestanding sign at 971 Hop Meadow Street. Are you here to present?
Here.
Thank you.
My name's Greg Reed, T-R-E-G-G-R-E-D. And I'm a project manager for ArtFX. And we're doing the sign for Udall Properties. It's at 971 Hot Meadow Street, the Meadowview Apartments, replacing an existing sign. The existing sign is 24 square feet. The new sign is 22.7 square feet, 32 square feet allowable. There is existing ground lighting that is going to remain, not touching that. Yes, any questions?
What about shrubbery under the sign? Is there any landscaping that will accompany the new sign?
There is landscaping that exists. We're not touching the landscaping, but I'm sure they will want. The existing sign in disrepair and updating. They're very particular. I know that they'll organize it.
They'll trust me. It's
not,
don't take it out of context.
We don't do landscape.
No, by all means. And I'll be honest, because it's not pictured and I can't recall it, what exactly is the lighting that's existing? I understand.
The lighting is a single floodlight on each side on the ground.
Okay, and I assume they're functional, right? And
I assume so.
well, it's to your benefit, but also look nicer. It looks like they're a little older than yours. But that being said, let's go to the commissioners and see what questions they have. We'll start with Anka.
Oh, it's not a question really. I was just wondering as a suggestion, number 971, right?
Yeah.
The address is part of the address.
Yes, that's the address.
Would you consider it maybe a darker color, maybe matching the meadow view, or not really?
I think the color does match the middle view. I think it's not visible as well in that.
It looks very, that's the same thing.
It's a gray. I mean, even on the submission, it's a gray. It's a. You have it. You've got it. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
I mean the dark.
yeah. It doesn't suggest.
Just for emergency response.
Yeah, I think that putting the number in black might be public safety wise.
Okay. Is that a requirement?
No, it's not a requirement from me personally, just a suggestion.
We'll get to that once we talk as a group. Let's ask questions. Kate
I
Beal.
had a question. So the apartments piece, is that a brown color? It's not.
It's a gold color.
It's like a golden. It's not orange though, but it's like a gold.
It's a gold color.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
hold on that.
See how brown it looks here.
Yeah,
It's
it
very-
looks orange
like
on
kind of
us.
orange there, brown there. So it's like a yellowy, like mustard kind of color. It's
Yeah.
not shiny, but it's just like a traditional golden.
That's their logo color.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to understand the color of that. And then the lower portion of the sign where it says Udall Properties, then there's like a graphic behind it. That's just like the logo kind of sitting behind there.
Yes, there's a
It's
little,
just faded, it's like
yeah, it's there's a little U-shaped logo that's,
some columns kind
yeah,
of.
right, it's just
Okay,
like a watermark.
yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, I'm fine.
Elaine?
And does this is kind of, I don't know if this is in the center code section, I don't know that beige. Is beige one of our approved kind of colors? This is a very beige, very earth tones. Is that kind of in our overall kind of color scheme?
We've deviated from that in the past, from the approved color scheme. There is no unified sign plan, for example, like we've had in previous shopping plazas, to be unified. It is a freestanding sign, and the existing sign is already not
the existing-
conforming.
Yeah. I'm by no means advocating for the sign that probably won't be standing on its own volition much longer.
Dark.
Light,
I mean,
dark coloring, dark
You
lettering.
know,
Yeah.
most of the sign is, right? It's light background with dark lettering.
Yeah.
Which is, so it is substantially consistent.
Jillian?
This wasn't asked, but the sign itself, is it acrylic or wooden?
Oh, it's aluminum with the aluminum composite cases. So they're
And it's white like it is now, the side part,
the poster white.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just the same.
And the letters are acrylic, it says on the drawing.
Yeah.
The top letters are acrylic, the ones below are vinyl.
So they're raised.
Yeah, the middle view is raised, and the apartment section is raised, and the middle property is not.
Okay. Does anyone have any conditions they'd like to strap to a positive referral by chance? It's pretty straightforward. So I'd like to make a motion for a positive referral regarding application ZC 23-05 of Art applicant Rudolph Enterprises LLC. Owner for a sign permit for the construction of a 23 square foot plus or minus freestanding sign at 971 Hot Meadow Street.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And thank you for letting me go first.
Moving right along, application ZC 23-04 of Jeremy Waycott, applicant GPF Drake Hill LLC, owner for a sign permit for the permitting of an existing 25 square foot wall sign and an existing 2 square feet freestanding sign insert on the monument sign at 714 Hot Meadow Street.
Good evening.
Hi, how
I
are
have
you?
some blown up drawings for each of you.
Update us.
There's down one
Here.
now. Sure.
Yeah. Tell me where to stop.
So as we know, it's sort of a dual thing here with, in as much as existing is not approved. Existing is the one prior to the one that's on the page,
Good
right?
evening. I'm Eric Earl.
Okay.
Hotheads. I was here last time and everyone had and come up with was make it the same colors as the monument sign.
So you
Black
go
and white,
black and white.
which is what we're,
If you want a copy.
is what we changed rendering to.
Yeah, I find it much more consistent with the plaza. I appreciate, I don't really have any questions.
It's
Okay.
what you guys talked about last time.
From all green to all white,
Right.
a lot of effort, we appreciate it. Maybe we intend such a drastic change, but it's okay.
It's right there.
It's okay. I have no.
And Kate?
You know what, it's what I think the board has asked them to do. So I think I've been outspoken on my opinion on the signs on this particular entire structure. So I think this is starting to help inform some of maybe the future decisions that we make, but I think this is fine.
Angeline?
I think it looks great. Thank you.
And Elaine.
I like it. I think it's a good improvement. I think you did a better job than the corporate graphic designer, so congratulations.
So hearing nothing except positive reviews, I'd like to make a referral for, I'd like to make a motion for a positive referral regarding application ZC 23-04, Jeremy Wincott, applicant GPF Drake Hill LLC owner for a sign permit for the permitting of an existing 25 square foot wall sign and an existing 2 square foot freestanding sign insert that is on the monument sign at 714 Hop Meadow Street. Who would like to second? All those in favor? Aye. And that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Which brings us to application ZC 23-03 of Vessel RE Holdings LLC applicant EAY Properties LLC owner for a site plan pursuant to a CGS 8-30G for construction of a 55,030 square foot plus or minus 80 unit multifamily development at 446 Hop Meadow Street. Welcome back and thank you for coming back.
Very clear. For the record, my name is Peter Alter. I'm a lawyer and practice law in Simsbury at the firm of Alter and Pearson. And we're here tonight to update a few things that we've modified since last time we were in to see you. We had in the last session that we had changed the exterior of the building by adding a different panel that takes on the appearance of a wood siding.
I think you got it.
Just to refresh everyone, we're on a 1.97 acre site on the east side of Hop Meadow. The Farmington River is further to the east, and there is a 2.39 acre parcel that we are not developing between the bike path and the Farmington River. That property is not going to be developed. The site on the east side of Hop Meadow Street. Here, the building is set into the far south.
Mr. Alter, take 1 second. Sure. Let me, you guys do have it on there. There are little desktops here. They're just taking a little bit longer to load. It's pretty big.
So is it there?
I think you can page down. We'll go that way.
Now, same.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate these things. I look forward to Apple tablets. Honestly, I reviewed it, so don't hold up for me because I've got a rough idea of what you're presenting. And I can see it later.
So as I indicated, the building site is in the southeast corner of the property, about 300 feet back from Hop Meadow Street. We had reviewed the trees that will be preserved at an earlier meeting. That continues to be the case. Our general site plan has changed a little bit. I'm not sure. I think it changed after we met with you, but we had a stormwater basin on the easterly side of the building. After some further review by the town engineer, that stormwater basin has been eliminated. Congress Sefa, our landscape architect, has called out that there will be a pathway sort of along the property boundary to an area here. There will be lawn, showing some picnic tables in this area for our residents. The grassy lawn area, sort of adjacent to the bike path on the easterly side of the building, which will afford some privacy for tenants who choose to make use of that area for some passive recreation. This is our lighting plan. We have no lighting that is going to escape the site. Everything is dark sky compliant. Everything is downlit, so that we have no light wash that is outside of our development envelope. This is the landscape plan Tom has redone. He's created a little gravel path from the sidewalk that runs along the northern side of the building, and then created a lawn area where we can have some passive recreation. I'll also mention that we had some comments from the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission regarding changing out some of the landscape materials that Tom had suggested. And we've now changed them out to meet the suggestions of the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency in terms of the materials that will be utilized on the site. This is an accurate representation of the site from Hot Meadow Street with the preserved trees, as well as the trees to be planted. And you can see the building in the background. This is a view of the building that has something added to it. If you'll notice in the right-hand side of the screen over here, this is where the HVAC units will be located along a concrete pad. This is the very southeast corner of the building. It's not going to be visible from anywhere. We're providing for a 6-foot screen around it. What you see is the screening. Obviously, we have to have screening that allows air circulation, but it will also shield the units from view. So we added that. That was something you had not seen in our prior presentations. This is the view of, again, the HVAC units are here. So this is the north side of the building that we're looking at there. And then, again, this shows the entry to the building, as well as the door into the mechanical room that sits here. This is the view from the bike path. Again, existing trees. The building has been superimposed into that rendering. Some people have asked about materials. As we've described before, the open area where the main access to the apartments is an open perforated screen to allow for air, but not moisture to pass through. We have, maybe this hasn't been clear before, but this is a skylight, translucent roof called out here. And we have solar site lighting. These are all solar lights rather than powered by underground conduit. And then some people have asked whether the windows are operable. They are. The window in each unit opens so that fresh air is available to the unit. And then we use, as we described before, the high pressure laminate rain screen panels are what create the skin of the building on the site. This is a building that was built already and is up and operating. But you might want to see what an all-white building look like. And then some people had questions about the interior of the units, and picture on the photograph on the right is an interior with the system, the wall system that Josh Levy described in an earlier presentation to you. This is typical one-bedroom unit. It has bedroom back where the window is. It has a translucent door accepting light from the hallway. We talked about the opportunity for light from the skylight that runs the length of the hallways and drops light into the various floors. People were concerned that
Can you point where that is, the light?
this is the translucent door. I have a better picture. There you go. So that opens onto the hallway. And allows the light that comes down from the skylight at the top of the building, as well as the translucent skylight in the entry. And then this is with the doorways open to the bedroom and the light that comes in from that window. It's up to the resident whether the doors are open or closed, depending on what they choose. And then this is a picture of the bedroom. It's an actual unit. Pictures out. And we've been through all this before. I'm not going to go back over this again. But this is a fully sustainable building. It's a net zero building. It generates enough power from the solar panels on the roof so that tenants who occupy this building do not pay for any electricity usage at all. We've made all the accommodations that we can. As I've said before, the form of the building really follows the function of the building as a net zero, highly sustainable, modern building that provides a great deal of opportunity for energy credit avoidance of unnecessary energy consumption, unnecessary water consumption, and opportunity for people to live in a very healthy environment. So that's where we are. We try to accommodate some of your suggestions as best we can. Happy to answer any questions. Mr. Levy is here. Mr. Grissef is here, and if you want, he's happy to run through the changes in the landscaping that were precipitated by comments from the Wetlands Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the please. I have a couple quick, just rudimentary questions. The bushes in the front of the building seem to have changed. Did they, or was that what was always proposed? Because it looks like grass is almost now.
It is.
Oh, that explains why it looks like that.
Yeah. So we kind of introduce yourself.
My name is Tom Grissef. I'm a landscape architect in Manchester, Connecticut. And so the changes that were outlined, we have addressed all of them, the recommendations, I should say. And starting at Hot Meadow, plant material has been renamed so that they're native. Juniper up in the upper left-hand corner there, and the cluster there of Areca pennsylvanica, which is evergreen that's dense enough and doesn't get as tall as the eastern juniper. You'll have to imagine. So these are eastern juniper. These are bayberry. This is a seeded section of plant material that is meant to retain slopes, mixture of grasses and forbs or flowers. And it'll have a blanket on it and just be almost invisible, but it does actually preserve the soil condition there. We're using eastern junipers again here in this little pocket. And winterberry in these areas down here to segregate the views from the path into the area itself. This group, and this group are all winterberries. The suggestion for using dogwoods instead of the honey locust, which was here, we used a single one here, joined with a pair of them over here, so there's some continuity in this area. The other trees, this actually was in the previous plan. There's 3 river birch, which 2 of them occupy the rain basin that's in this triangular shape here. These plants are existing. They're huge oaks, and their sizes are listed right next to the trunk size. There's also a couple of oaks in this area that are located on another plan. And there are a series of them. If you notice, this is the woodland area that traverses the property directly south of us. This area over here outlines the existing woodland. So it's not new stuff, and it's going to be preserved. This oval here that I'm pointing at has existing trees which we're requiring they protect, and they'll survive through this. This is the little path that allows you to get back into this pocket. And the areas up next to the building on this side and on this side are little bluestem, which gets 2 feet high in the spring, and by fall it has a 4 or 5 foot seed pod situation that rises out of the cluster. And so this is a solid, uniform, non-walkable area next to the building, which gives it privacy and also a solidity, I think, that makes it very clean and handsome. This is an emergency walkway, which won't be used on a regular basis, but it does separate building from green area. This really is an invisible thing that we have to show to know why we can't do something there. It is a drain, curtain drain, and it's very necessary to catch the water that runs from the south up to the drain itself and then heads out towards the river. We did actually create a rain garden, which was not here previously. The changing grade was here. This is a little bit larger than last time. And this is seeded with a variety of plant material that are in this plant list here. And they're all natives. They come from New England wetlands, and they're in small pots rather than plugs, they're called, as opposed to seed, where this upper area is a seeded crop of these similar things, but much more vigorous, and it has a blanket on top of it to protect them. So kind of ran through these, but the unique things that occurred here are, I think, giving us a better, simpler, classic way of looking at this, so that we're respecting the building's architecture and still providing privacy. This, especially in the backside, is with a lot of vegetation, and it's going to remain in place. So with that, I'll answer any questions you have.
Landscape related. Are there any landscape questions?
The trash, this is a little outside of your purview probably, but like the trash enclosure and the trash, what size, dumpsters are those?
And we had that question from whether it was wetlands or zoning, someone asked us, so we went back to the waste hauler. There'll be two, containers, one for trash, one for recyclables. It's an 8-yard and a 6-yard. And we now have, got the design for the bear-proof dumpsters. The concern that, bears make it into the dumpster and cause problems, so, the waste hauling company actually has, it's just for Simsbury, that they have a bear-proof dumpster.
It is a regional thing, yeah. I mean, that's, I know it sounds crazy, but that is like for real.
I will say that my office is in Glastonbury, and one day we had a bear come to the door, so. That's surprised. So yes, the dumpster pad is up here. They'll be fenced, obviously, and gated. And as I said, it will be bear-proof, that's possible.
It doesn't seem like a very large amount of trash or recycling for 80 units.
And we asked, specifically, we asked the waste hauler, somebody said that, I mean, we could make it bigger if we had to, but they have indicated that that's an appropriate size for,
For like a week, like that.
for, yeah,
That's probably,
twice a week. I believe.
yeah,
Or twice a week.
that's how you do it. It's just come more often.
As long as they do.
Is there anything else landscape oriented, just so we can like put down? Go ahead, Andre.
I have I do, maybe I missed it, I apologize. Last time, you said you will plant, like a curtain, a new layer of trees on each side of the building, very close actually to the windows, like a curtain, green curtain wall. Is that gone or
It's gone,
it's gone?
yes.
Okay.
Was there a reason it was pulled, just for
There was a-
understanding?
There was a discussion about the fact that it's an American beach as opposed to, I mean, European beaches as opposed to an American beach. There are some issues with a leaf disease that causes some disfiguration. But in the main reason for doing this was we've added some textural quality to the outside of the building. These weren't adding an attractive, in their opinion, an attractive addition to the building. And this uniform grass on both sides and the fact the building has changed its facade assisted. I think there was discussion that the fact that they were not native, they're first cousins, but the native aspect was.
It's okay, no, I totally agree with it, I'm glad you got rid of that.
Yeah.
That's why I asked, yeah, good, it's good. Yeah.
It's a curveball question.
Yeah.
All right, other landscape questions, Jolene?
No.
Wayne? Guys are all good? All right, thank you very much. We do have a couple other questions though. I'll start. I just want, again, some of these are just clarification. The generator, I assume will be with the HVAC units, or is that separate?
There's no generator.
There's a generator instead, for the elevator. Go back on the PowerPoint, it says it right on it. All right, that's okay, but it does say it.
There's no generator.
Is it an elevator?
recall seeing one, but.
There's no generator.
But elevator,
There's elevator, yeah.
it is, yeah.
One of the
That's
slides
a
they
previous
show.
slide. With someone.
I think it's under safety features.
The
No,
last,
it doesn't matter, fine.
I-
It's there, I swear it's there. All right, well, anyways,
We got the design plan if you saw it.
it's not one of those, I just.
Just to be clear.
It's irrelevant. Did you see that? No, just kidding. Fireplaces? It's not in our purview. Okay, just thought that was in there
Where was that
too.
unit with the fireplace?
That was the sample photo.
Oh, it's decorative.
Probably the same place I saw the generator. All right, those were my clarifications, so let's go down the line. Down the line. Hey, would you like to start?
Sure. Well, I did have a question. It's a little outside of our purview, but since you showed the interior, where was the location for the building with the bedroom interior shot that you mentioned? That you showed?
Where you take those pictures?
The picture that you showed, that was in
New Jersey.
It was in the Trenton project, but what about the one that was like the bedroom? That was that's a rendering, okay. And then are there solar panels on the roof of the building?
Yes.
And like, we don't get to see any views of those and they're not visible from anywhere? They're flat or?
They're not flat. But there is a protective band around the top of the building that screens those.
Can you show it to us?
Sure.
The roof is a part.
So the top band that you see is a parapet and the roof is, with the solar panels is below that. So it's not, the roof is not flat to the top of the building, the roof is below the parapet.
Okay.
It's, no, if it's a parapet, it's, how many feet high do you think it is?
From memory, I want to say it's 3 feet, 36 inches.
Okay.
So you can't see the solar panels, they don't have an angle that's more than 3 feet high? So that we would see that in elevation?
I'm not going to say that when you're 300 feet away from Hot Meadow that you might see some little element of it sticking up, but anywhere like from an angle near the building, you won't see it.
I'm just surprised, like with such a big feature that it's net zero, that you're not showing them more in all those documentation.
That's it?
I mean, that was one thing. I mean, okay, so are we really diving in? Are we doing this thing right now? So I think last week or 2 weeks ago when we were here, we asked that you guys look at the massing of the building and adjust the wooden look panels to remove more white and to make this building more attractive. And it doesn't look like that happened between then and now. This is what it still looks like. You know, we talked about colors, we talked about the screening on the front and making that stairwell look more like a mass. We talked about highlighting the interior with some more less white and more warm materials, but I'm not seeing any of that here, so I don't know what really to comment on from that perspective.
Okay, now can we see the slide that has the entranceway, if you don't mind, please? Yeah, no, there was a front one there. Yeah.
That's not the same building, just so you can be aware, this is a different building, that they're showing for reference.
This is only to show the materials.
Oh, all right.
This is a single set of units, so that the full width is, you see how like ours has
Yeah,
another
it's
set.
rotated.
And then it's shorter this way, it's literally not at all.
No,
20 minutes.
It doesn't even show the wooden. No, it's not.
It's the same building, it's just the width, the overall width of the building on this is a smaller width. It's
How about depth?
still the same depth.
This isn't our building.
No, he's saying it's less
This
width.
is a
Yeah.
materials board.
So the stairway is the same, right? That's the depth.
Right, but it ends at the stairwell here, and ours continues on to another set of these units, and it goes farther that way with more units, like this is not at all.
Oh,
the
so it's a
building.
different
Yeah,
depth.
this is not the same building. It's like, it's not.
Oh, hang on. It's another building.
You're right.
See how we have, yeah,
That building also has the back.
It's the same. Okay, I don't wanna get caught up in that.
I think this was just the materials board, but it does show. It has the best exposition of the entry.
We have discussed some highlights though in that entryway.
Yeah.
Is there a reason that you guys didn't address it, just so we can understand?
The interior. Yeah, as I think I described at the beginning of the process, the building itself is a product, and so the interior of the building where there's different delineations in terms of materials is limited by the layout of the panels and limited by the layout of the interior of the building. And so we can't start introducing multiple colors. First of all, it looks like a mishmash of colors. If you start having a third color, that's a different variation inside. And there's no stop to break in terms of this. It all would then start wrapping around into the hallway. So you have no delineation of different colorization. It just doesn't work for the design of the building. And the design of the building is a product. It's not a custom designed building that's done each time we do a new building. That's part of the way that we're able to achieve the level of housing, the level of quality we can receive and still charge tenants rents that are attainable to them at their income levels.
It's affordable housing, but how are you able to change it on one side of the building and not the other? Just, it's an honest question.
It's changed on both sides of the building there. That has a delineation in terms of there's window bays. So there's a different panel layout on the side of the building that has windows on both sides where we have to break up in between the windows, versus the other part of the building with a different panelization or layout. And
If you want
Are
me to
the
put that,
hallways, like, so the screen that we're looking at, that's like, air is going through, we've heard, so it's like a perforated material. But not moisture, but air is going through, then is like it open air in the hallway too, then, like, is that like, what is, it's like cold, like, so in the winter it'll be cold, and in the summer it will be hot.
that's correct. It is exterior space.
And the whole hallway that's down the middle between the units is also then technically exterior. And you can't change those, like, I see little lines divvying up this interior, but you can't make them different colors just like you did on the outside.
But we can't start, there's no breakup between those panels in terms of the different colors, and it leads into the hallway. And I think other areas, there's no demarcation like that.
There's not like, they're not like a reveal between the panels. Each panel, so that each panel could be.
That's
check it
panel,
out.
yeah. You can't paint by numbers for panels. It's supposed to work for purposes of that.
okay, anything else?
Not right now.
All right, Anka?
It appears that, you cannot, or for whatever reasons, you can't, customize your product. Having said that, I don't want you to come many more times here with the same presentation over and over. Can you put together like an honest, accurate rendering for what we are going
These
to?
are honest, accurate renderings.
No, they're not. That fireplace, that interior with the fireplace and the Christmas tree, really?
That's not a rendering. You asked for a picture of a building. That's what you asked me for. You said, is there an existing building I can show you a picture of?
And you showed us an interior of a room with a Christmas tree and a fireplace. That's not the building.
I showed you the exterior building also.
Which is a different design, which is a completely different design than this.
That's correct. No, otherwise I have the renderings, which are renderings. of the building.
You showed us that, the slide with the materials. which definitely, it doesn't even show the wood panels that you agreed to apply.
The materials board is.
Yeah, but it's not on that
This is a
slide.
rendering with the wood panels. The material board is to call out
Yes,
the materials that are used on the building.
yes,
The materials used on the building are still the same materials.
yes.
This is a rendering of the building with the panelization and the change in color that you had asked for. We provided this. This is a accurate rendering of the building.
I'm sorry.
Let's go on to the next question.
I thank you for finally showing that concrete pad with the mechanical units outside, behind a 6-foot high screen. Is it any noise that these mechanical units are producing to interfere with the neighbors? Oh, no,
So that's a private agency DRF system.
and they're perfectly quiet. Excellent. The fact that these mechanical units are on the exact opposite side of the building from the mechanical room, it's an efficient design.
Yes, that's the most efficient.
Perfect, okay. Yeah, no, it's not much I can say to this, just because it just seems that your product it's cast in stone. For whatever reason, you cannot adjust it, you cannot adapt it. The fact that it's a passive house product doesn't mean that we cannot accommodate some of our requirements, I think, like mine in particular, adding some balconies to these tiny cells. And in all honesty, not because I want to be very critical, maybe I am very critical, but looking at the unit layout, it's so small. If you go to a hotel, you get bigger units.
Yeah, that's true. It's just not actually accurate. So if you go to
Well,
the,
you said that.
if you go to the tannery in Glastonbury, there's a 600 square foot 1-bedroom unit that's on the market, that's being rented right now for $22.50. The square footage in the living room as well as the square footage in the bedroom are actually smaller than the square footage we offer. And they're fully leased at all times. So, and your statement of why can't we accommodate balconies is, it goes back to the first thing that we sort of discussed about the design of this, which is the design of this is intended to be a product because there's no way in the market to provide housing for people who make workforce rents. So the minute you start providing things like balconies and customizing buildings, you end up with 1-bedroom rents that are $2,200 a month. Nobody who's a working class person who's early in their career earning $65,000 a year can afford those rents. They're housing cost burden. And when you do that, you keep people from being able to afford a decent place to live, and you require them to live in substandard conditions instead of letting them live in healthy, sustainable, energy efficient housing like they deserve. And the whole idea of what we're doing is to bring housing to people in communities that aren't well served by the housing that's currently in communities today. And that's why we have to do it the way we do it, because nobody's ever figured out a way to do it other than this. Otherwise, it would exist in communities today.
What is the rent you're planning to charge for these units?
We're talking about $1,650 a month for the non-restricted.
And are the restricted 1-bedrooms the same as the rest of the units? Like, are there any differences in how they're made, or is it exactly the same?
Everything does.
Yeah, so they're deeded restricted. But I think in the previous presentation, you said all of them technically are affordable by definition, but not deed restricted.
That just doesn't exist today, and so we're looking at what's considered workforce housing, so to speak. Which is targeted to people at really 80% of the AMI, which is people usually making $65,000 a year, which happens to be early stage teachers and municipal employees and other essential workers in communities who can't find good quality housing.
I appreciate that clarification. I want to bring us back into the purview of the design review board. No, I asked it, but okay, I'm going to go down to them because we're starting to become time conscious.
Yeah.
Jolene?
I have one question. I'm not sure it's in our purview, but it may be. We talked about the different colors available in the hallway last time with the lighting, that may change according to what lighting is chosen, correct?
That,
And the stairwells.
we've clarified that with the lighting contractor and the specifications, and that just is not the case. It will be soft, white lighting. It's not gonna have different color.
So I wanted to ask about the individual units. I read that each unit has its own ability to have a lighting show or show different lighting colors in each apartment dwelling unit. Is that the case? I read that on an information site about you.
Yeah, units have different lighting schemes associated with them, so they have anything from what's called like ceramic lighting, where it can change the warmth and temperature of the lighting can change throughout the day in order to react to both the light outside, but also your body chemistry, so that it's getting brighter throughout the day and then getting darker at night, so that it's easier for people to sleep. It also has, you know, in different areas, the ability to have all different kinds of lighting schemes, but nothing that's, you know, going to the outside of the apartment unit, only the hallways or the entry.
But is it able to be seen from any of the viewing points, the bike path or Hot Meadow Street? You know, if someone has red lighting and someone has blue and someone else has white, is that able to be seen through the unit?
I mean, no more than you'd be able to see into this house if they had up an LED light construct that was.
The actual lighting is cool white versus different kelvins and things. So it's essentially it's white light. They're not like red lights and blue lights and green lights.
Okay, that's what I
Correct?
wanted. I thought I read that. So.
They can, I mean, there's different things that they can do. We also have some people putting see lighting in the bathrooms, so you can see light sterilizing the bathroom in order to keep rain sterilizing the bathroom. But the discussion of sort of the color, the entryway or the hallway is nothing like that.
No, I wanted to know about the dwelling units and if they could be seen through, but you answered. Thank you.
My daughter has LED strip lighting up in her room, and I'm sure people think she's running a freelance discotheque. Yeah, oh, it depends on her mood. It changes colors all the time. You might even think we're nuts.
That has nothing to do with the lighting.
No. Well, fair, very fair.
Come on, Elaine.
I like the addition. I missed the one 2 weeks ago. I like the addition of the wood panels. I was skeptical about adding other colors. Actually, I think, you know, we don't have a lot of very modern contemporary design in town, so some people may not be used to it. I think part of the asset is that this is a sleek, modern design, and I think it would be cluttered by balconies, so I'm glad that didn't change. And I do think the wood panels help the building to kind of be a little more camouflaged. And I also appreciate that you elaborated on the preservation of those large oaks, because I think that makes a difference in terms of how the building will look on completion. So I don't really have any other comments. I wouldn't personally just want any other colors introduced in the panels just for the sake of this kind of very sleek, cohesive design that they have got. It can start to look patchwork.
The stairwells in the latest rendering, that's the title page, if you will, they look like they are now brownstone. Is that correct? Or see the actual stairwell itself?
I think it's just a shadow. And I don't think they have.
I sort of like it. You know what I mean? That's the splash of color. Is that what you were looking for?
No, like so if like a designer was actually doing this building, they would, you know, block it out. And if you Google like, you know, low income housing, if you Google anything that uses this HPL panels on the exterior, you'll see some very creative and beautiful ways of cladding a building, even a plain rectangle, that they just aren't interested in pursuing here. So that's what I was saying. You can take a rectangle shoebox and you can create form and dimension to it while leaving it flat and just give that sense of dimension that really creates a beautiful building that is contextual to the landscape. But they have, told us repeatedly that they are opting not to do that. And so, there's not a lot of discussion that can be had. We get stripes. So,
It was a gesture,
yeah.
but.
Doesn't
go
make it
this
good.
way
It
with
doesn't
my-
make it good.
Would any coloration there help or hinder?
What, on the stairs?
Yeah, the handrail.
The handrail? I mean, you could do it.
I'm just trying to blend the two, trying to bring us to.
I think if it's the contrast color on the handrail, if that, that would make it pop more. I feel like I was in enough of the attempted modern buildings that were built in like the 70s where people tried to make them more dynamic by putting a wall of color and it just looks
Yeah,
super
no,
dated,
that's-
super fast.
That's not what I'm talking about doing either, but I was hoping that they would come back with a design for it, so that I wouldn't have to try to tell them how to do it, but I don't think they have a designer, so maybe that hurt.
I think they have a consistent model, but they want to fit everywhere like a Lego.
Yeah.
Legos are the same everywhere you go. It's not ideal, but this is 830G, they're saving costs, which bluntly turns into affordable housing as a byproduct. What can we give them for feedback or acceptance? Is there anything we had hoped to get that you feel we will get? Let me put it that way, because I want to push it forward. We can't meet on this every meeting.
Right, from my perspective, they've answered. I guess not.
Okay. Would you vote for a neutral referral? I know we've done positive and negative referrals.
I'm gonna have to vote against it.
Okay, fair enough. Just polling people here on go. This is nothing committal. But could you vote for a neutral referral? Okay. You know you're
Steven.
Could you vote for a neutral referral, positive referral, or a negative referral at this time?
Where positive or neutral.
Okay, interesting. Emily.
I would vote for positive removal.
I mean, shoot.
Should have.
Did I mention the handrails and the generator for the elevators on page 7, just so we're clear?
He's feeling very vindicated on this.
I think because of the rock and the hard place we're between, having 2 pro and 2 anti. Is there such a thing as a neutral?
Yeah, I think a neutral recommendation makes sense, and staff can clearly articulate the discussion that the design review board had, and we can convey that to the zoning commission.
Okay, in that case, I'd like to propose a neutral referral or recommendation rather, as far as the aspects of application ZC 23-3 and Vessel RE Holding LLC applicant EAY Properties LLC owner for a site plan pursuant to CGS 8-30G for construction of a 55 and 30,000 square foot 80 unit multifamily development at 4046 Hot Meadow Street. All those in favor?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? And no one's left to abstain, so we have a 3-2 decision on the neutral referral.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We do appreciate your efforts and your continued efforts in our community, investing in our community. We know where you live. It's just a joke, sorry. My humor is horrible. Did everyone have a chance to review the March 6th minutes? Okay, would someone else like to make a motion then?
Move to approve the March 16th minutes.
6th.
6th.
And would someone like to second them? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I
And
abstain. I abstain because I was
Okay.
not present.
So it still carries. We have a quorum for the 4 versus 1 abstention. Is there anything else we should review, before we adjourn?
I would love to set up a time to look at, because I think this is just a nice example of how these things go. To look at how we're looking at signs and how we're looking at these sign packages. I think we had talked about that before, but like maybe we could set, get that on the agenda to do a little workshop.
Absolutely.
We had every intention to do that and then
Yeah,
this application
okay,
came.
that's fine.
So yes, we will put that together for you.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
I agree, or even our.
You did all right.
Something to build off. You have, you have. one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but I think
It's
it's time
fairly
to,
dated.
I think it's time to look at it again, maybe.
It's extremely dated.
There's enough times where we're like, oh, wait, is this working? Is that not? So I think it's time to revisit it.
Okay, so that's a great point.
Absolutely.
We'll get back to that workshop.
Yeah.
Any other general commission business? With that being said, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn,
Second,
and I think we don't have to vote after that, right? It's
You
adjourned.
can say without objection, we could
Oh,
be
that's
adjourned.
right.
Yeah.
Magic word. Without objection, we are adjourned.
Yeah.